Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenna with Stahls TV, and thank you so much for joining me on this live broadcast all about heat printing shoes. So we're going to be printing a variety of different shoes that are made out of different fabrics, so we can kind of go over all of the different heat transfer vinyls that you can utilize to be able to personalize or custom create any shoes for any market that you're already selling to. So I'm starting to see some comments come in. Hi, Nikki and Stacy. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Throughout the broadcast, if you guys have any questions, be sure to comment those in. I'll be browsing through all those just to make sure we get any questions answered. All right, so there are a variety of different styles of shoes that you can print, and we're going to be going over some of those today. But a lot of the popular ones that we've printed in the past that you've probably seen either in other live classes or morning shows are the canvas shoes and also athletic shoes. So I will be printing a canvas shoe today that's a little bit of a different style, and we're going to be doing a different placement just so you can see other ways that you can utilize this. But I want to point out the material that we put on the cleat, because this is a common question we get. A lot of people see the fabric of this shoe and are just kind of taken back about the different styles that you can put on this in order to customize it without ruining the fabric of this. So we actually printed this with fashion film, so you can see the number 12 on there in our neon green. And we did this in one of our ISS shows, and this went over very well for people that are currently personalizing or customizing jerseys or what have you for the sports teams. Okay, so this is a great add-on sell and just kind of opens up your shop a little more for your customers and shows them that you can print a variety of different things, so that you can package things together and really increase your sales that way. All right, so we're going to start off with our first shoe, and we're going to be printing a canvas shoe here. And this was just purchased from a local Target, but you can find these in wholesale. So just be sure to look at your options when purchasing these in bulk. If you're just doing a one-off for a customer, of course you can go to just a local Target or Walmart or Hobby Lobby and find these there also. But some of the wholesalers that offer a variety of different shoes are any athletic ones that as far as your Dick's Sporting Goods go, and then we also have wholesale boutique that offers a more stylish shoe like this boot. Okay, so we'll be printing that here shortly. If you're working with a Hotronix Fusion, you are equipped with different Platens that are interchangeable so that you can load different accessories on here. So I have the top heating element swung away here with the Fusion. It has a swing and a draw. With this Platen, this is the shoe Platen that we have loaded in here. So we're able to interchange all of our Platens in our press. So this is what the shoe Platen looks like, and this is where we're going to be loading all of our shoes on so we can get a really nice flat print so that we can get the right amount of pressure in order to print these. All right, so I'm just going to load that back in there by dropping that pin down in there and locking it in place with this latch at the bottom of our Platen. All right, so for our first application, we're going to be pressing glitter flake on this canvas shoe. Now with the canvas shoe, we don't really have to worry about what heat transfer vinyls will go on this because it's a cotton fabric. So really any heat transfer vinyl that you want to use to personalize this with is available to you. So we'll be personalizing this with glitter flake. I'm just going to be pressing the back end of this shoe. All right, so I'm getting a nice flat surface here. And what I'm doing is just loading the heel of my shoe on the edge of this Platen. So whenever that top press comes down, it's going to align right there and press the glitter flake for its full application. All right, so before I do that, of course, I want to double check my pressure. So I'm just going to bring that down and make sure I'm at least at a medium pressure. If you're working with the Fusion, that'll read anywhere between a 3 or a 4 and a 7. All right, so in case you're worried about this rubber sole down here, you can see that that is not actually hitting. It's dropping whenever the pressure comes down, so we don't have to worry about covering that with any type of special pad that will keep that from melting. So all I'm going to do is use my typical craft paper sheet here after placing my transfer in place there. I'm just going to cover it with that, and then I can apply it for its full application. Now, of course, I'm only printing one shoe here, but I want to point out that you can do 2 at a time. It does have the ability to load 2 different shoes on at once so that you can print them at the same time. Now I'm just going to be printing one for the sake of saving time for this class, but it's definitely possible. All right. Glitter Flake also applies at a new application, so it's going to be the same time and temperature, or same time and pressure, but the temperature is dropped to 300 degrees. So just keep that in mind whenever you're choosing different styles of items to apply Glitter Flake to. All right, so that completes this shoe. Right, so you can see the Glitter Flake personalization there. I'm using a new Glitter Flake color. That's our rainbow white that we launched just a couple months back. So that looks really nice and really complements the shoe in a really unique way. Okay. For our next application, we're going to be printing that boot that I mentioned earlier that you can purchase from Wholesale Boutique. Okay, so this is a really high-end item, and you can check out the pricing on their website. And we're going to be personalizing it with pattern heat transfer vinyl. So this is our gingham pattern for the Stahls cad-cut patterns. And we're just going to be pressing it on the edge of our boot here. All right, so all I have to do is load my boot into place, and I'm just going to let it hang off of here. All right, so there's no need for me to have to thread this on like this or anything. I mean, I can do that, but what I really want to do is just focus on this portion of my boot right here so that I know I have a nice flat surface and no other areas of the boot are getting in my way, because it's very important to have a nice pressure, so we need a nice flat surface for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use an accessory item with our heat press, and this is called a flexible application pad. So it's a rubbery silicone pad, very stretchable, but it absorbs a lot of the heat. So whenever you're pressing heat-sensitive items, such as this style of boot here, which is kind of a suede fabric, you have to be very careful about the amount of heat that you're putting on it. All right, so what I'm going to do is place my monogram down, grab my cover sheet, and what I'm going to do with the cover sheet is just tack this really quick. All right, so with the pattern heat transfer vinyl, we can do what is called a fast tack. And this is going to allow that adhesive to activate enough to start sticking to the boot, but I'm not going to keep it on there long enough for it to start scorching or melting the fabric of the boot. All right, so you can see that this started to stick, but it's not scorching anything. Now, if I were to leave it like this, we would risk this monogram actually falling off of the boot, okay? So we want to make sure it's still getting its full application. So we're going to take this rubberized silicone flexible application pad, and you can find this on the Stahls website, and this is going to act as our new cover sheet. All right, so we're going to apply this for its full application. Patterns applies as low as 300 degrees, anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. Now, I typically apply the patterns for 15 seconds, but I'm going to increase it an additional 10 seconds. And the reason I'm doing that is because with that flexible application pad, it's going to be absorbing so much of the heat that we need to make sure that it is applying long enough for enough heat to make its way through that cover sheet so that it's still getting its application. So typically, patterns applies at 15 seconds, anywhere between 15 and 20. I applied at 15, so I'm adding an additional 10 seconds. So we're waiting for this 25 seconds to count down, and then whenever it is done, it'll beep, and then we can release it, and it'll be a finished product. This is just going to make sure that our transfer is going to be very durable on our item so that we have a good finish to sell to our customer. All right, so our boot is complete. You can see that personalization there. There is no scorching of this fabric at all because that flexible application pad absorbed a lot of that heat and saved that fabric from melting. All right, so this is a great opportunity for any types of markets that you're already selling to, and really around this time of year because a lot of gifting is going on. So keep these high-end items in mind because customers are going to be more willing to pay for something that has a high-end finish and then of course has their personalization on it. So this works for any retail customers that you may have that are coming and wanting personalization on unique items, and then any customers that you're already selling to that are looking for gifting items. So just keep that one in mind. Again, that was from Wholesale Boutique. All right, for our next application, we're going to be doing a sandal. Okay, so you've seen us do a lot of different styles of sandals, and I just want to point this one out because it is so unique. All right, so I'm going to grab the other one here because I want you to see the style. This is the same style, but what's happening is these top pieces are completely interchangeable. So I'm going to switch over to this GoPro cam so you can see how they interchange. All they do is snap off, and then you can interchange them that way. So I can put heat transfer vinyl on this vegan leather interchangeable snap, or I could put decal vinyl on this metal snap. All right, so there's interchangeable ways to be able to decorate these sandals. These are purchased from Wild About Me blanks, so be sure to check those out. I will point out, I was just talking to Barbara from Wild About Me blanks, and she was telling me that these are on clearance now. So if this is something you see being really big with your customers come spring, around Easter time, whenever you're printing for gifts, this is going to be a really nice item, okay? All right, so what I can do with this, and this is going to make it really easy on me so I don't have to load the shoe on there, and this also will make it really easy on me if I'm printing these in bulk. So if I'm printing these in bulk, all I have to do is unload my shoe platen here and load in my 16 by 20 and then place my heat printing pillow on here. My heat printing pillow is going to absorb any of these buttons that are getting in the way from an even pressure. So I'm taking glitter flake again, and I'm going to be applying it to this vegan leather snap here. And I'm just going to use this shoe platen because that's what's loaded on here. I'm just going to drop this pillow on here. But again, if you're doing these in bulk and you're printing a variety of different monograms on a bunch of these, you can just lay these all out on your 16 by 20 platen and pillow and just print them all at once. Right, so that's just an idea for you. Now, before I apply this, I want to test my pressure with my pillow in there now. So I'm just going to bring this down and make sure I'm still at about a medium pressure. It's reading 5, so we're good to go there. And I can just go ahead and place this down. And of course, I want to cover this with my flexible application pad again. All right, so this is faux leather, and it has it's made out of some plastic, so that can melt underneath the high heat. So we're going to cover it with our flexible application pad, and then it will apply. So glitter flake applies anywhere between 10 to 15 seconds. I have it at 15 right now, so I'm going to increase that to 20. Again, we're doing that because this flexible application pad absorbs a lot of heat. We want to make sure that it's making its way through to get a durable application. All right. Still see some comments coming in. Cheryl asks, do these platens go with any Stahls heat presses? So depending on the style of heat press that you have, it works with the clam and the fusion, but there are some platens that don't work with the clam. And I believe that's just the 6 by 20 leg and sleeve platen. So that's the only platen that's not going to work with the clam style presses, but other than that, you can use these with any style of Stahls press. All right, so this application is done. All I have to do is peel away that carrier, and then my personalized snap is complete. So I can bring my shoe over and just add that personalization right on there. All right, be careful with the snaps after you heat press them. They're still a little hot. All right, so that is a quick and easy way to personalize sandals come spring or summer. So this is a great opportunity to start offering these for your customers. If you're not doing this right now, I always recommend to post pictures of these to see if it's something that your customers would be interested in, whether that's on your Facebook or your Instagram or even your Etsy shop if you're doing that. So just keep that in mind. This is a really unique and fun idea for gifting and for spring and summer. Okay. Last but not least, we have a really unique shoe that we haven't printed here before, so I'm really excited to be able to do that with you guys today. We're going to be printing a snow boot, all right? So this is, the idea behind this is to print it for a local ski resort. and be able to personalize it with their logo. So what I'm using is fashion film here. This is one of our top heat transfer vinyl products that we use for shoes because it is so thin and so durable, and we know with the versatility of it, it has the capability of being able to press onto vegan leather shoes or suede shoes or any type of athletic shoe such as the cleat that I was showing you earlier. All right, with this boot, you can see whenever I load it on here that these buttons or these hooks right here for the strings are in the way and can cause an uneven pressure because they're not really dropping below here. So what I'm going to use is this Print Perfect pad. All right, so it's a rubberized, and a lot of people compare it to a mouse pad because it has that same feel to it, but it's much denser. So we're able to stick this underneath hard to print items so that we're getting a nice flat surface. So whenever I push this underneath the boot, it's going to raise this area and drop these hooks below so that it's not getting in the way of me having a nice flat print. All right, so I have that centered in there, and now all I have to do is take my fashion film transfer and press it right on that boot. All right, just as we did earlier with that canvas shoe, all I'm going to do is tack this, or not the canvas shoe, the suede shoe. We're just going to tack this for a couple of seconds so that the adhesive will activate. All right, and this is going to, I'm going to have to test our pressure a little bit here since that's a thicker shoe. All right, so we're at about a 4. All I'm doing right now is just tacking this so that adhesive will activate and get that able to stick there. But we don't want to leave a mylar carrier mark. So if we're using a lot of pressure on sensitive items such as vegan leather, the edges of this carrier will start to make indents on the fabric and leave a square around your design. All right, we want this to be seamless whenever we give this to our customers. So what we're going to do is cover this again with our flexible application pad so that it can get its full application, and we won't have to worry about melting that fabric, and it will also get rid of that mylar carrier square that's showing up there from our first and initial hit with the press. All right, so fashion film applies anywhere between 15 and 20 seconds. So I have my, my time pushed up to 25 seconds, okay? So we'll press that for a full 25 seconds. And any of the styles of fashion film that you're thinking about putting on here, so we have the regular fashion film and we have fashion film electric. Fashion film electric is the style, it's called Silver Prism, that I'm using on this boot today. So any of those fashion film colors or styles that you're considering will work perfectly for these unique shoe styles. Right, and as you saw earlier, I was using glitter flake as well. All right, so I'm going to hold this up so you guys can get a good feel for this finished application. All right, so you can see how that really shines on there. So this is a style of shoe that you can easily print, and what's good about seeing this application is it's good to see that whenever you're making the investment of these higher end items, you should not be afraid to print them. There are so many accessories and different items that you can utilize at your shop so that you don't have to be worried to press these, okay? So for personalization, even embroiderers are afraid to embroider high-end items because they're punching through that fabric so much. With heat transfer vinyl, you are able to print those high-end items and pretty much knock out any competition that is afraid to do that. So if you have a heat press, utilize it so that you can print these high-end items and increase your sales no matter the market that you are printing for. All right, so that concludes this week's live broadcast on heat printing shoes. Before we take off here, I just want to make sure we didn't get any more questions coming in through Facebook. All right. Looks like we are all set up. Yes, it was from Wild About Me Blanks. All right. So if you're looking for those interchangeable sandals that I was showing you earlier, you can find those at Wild About Me Blanks. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me. We'll see you next time.